Now we are going to see some operators that we are going to use in the future, because we are going to introduce to code blocks and loops. So before that, we need to understand different operators that we are going to use in those functions. Now, what are conditional operators? So whenever we are trying to test any conditions, we can use any of the value comparison operators. Okay, these things are pretty simple and very easy to understand. And there are a lot of different types of comparisons that we can perform, but for now we'll just focus on these six, because these six are usually the most frequently used operators. So we have less than operation, which is basically used to check whether the left side value is less than the right side value or not. So for example, so a less than b. Okay, so let me define some value, 10, b equals 20. Now we are trying to see whether a is less than b or not. So the output of any logical operator is basically a Boolean value. Okay, and this type of comparison that we are doing it here, it's a Boolean expression actually. Okay, now if I run this, see, I'm getting true. So there are two types of Boolean values, true and false. And this is how we write true in Python. And false is also written in the similar way. F is capital, others are small. So if you see, if I have A 30 and B 20, and I'm doing a comparison for A less than B, I'm getting false. Okay. Let's say I have A also 20 and B also 20, and I'm doing a comparison for A less than B. I'm still getting a false because they both are equal. They are not less than each other, right? So for that, we have the next operation, less than or equal to B. Now, if I am doing A less than equals to B, so this is the syntax, and I'm doing A less than equals B, now I'm going to get true. Similarly, we can do it for greater than equal to, is exactly same. Now I'm going to discuss this equals to. So we have two types of equals in Python. So one is a equals 20. So this is a single equals to. This is called an assignment operator. We are assigning the right side value to the left side variable. Okay. Whatever is in the right side, we are assigning that value to the variable on the left side. This is what single equals to means. It's an assignment operator. But when we are doing some comparison, we have to use double equals to. That is a conditional operator. Okay. Now, if a equals to b, I'm getting it true because 20 is equals to 20. Let me change the value, and you can see the difference. Since 20 is not equal to 10, I'm getting false. Now, we know how to check equals now. How to check not equal to. Since a is not equal to b, how do we check that? We use an exclamation equals. This tells that this checks whether a is not equal to b or not. Since we have 20 and 10, both are not equal, and we are getting a true at the output. I can make it both equal, and you can see the difference. We're getting false here. So this is conditional operators. And then we have our logical operators also. Now, what do logical operators do? Logical operators are basically used to chain the conditional operations. Now, if I want to check two different operations in a single expression. So if A greater than B and A less than C. Let me define a value C, and let me do it 30. Let me do it 10. Okay. We already discussed this kind of expressions, and now we are using a logical operator in between, that is our AND operator, to chain the operations. Now what I'm doing is I'm checking two different Boolean expressions in a single expression. I want to check whether A is greater than B and A is less than C. Let's see, we are getting true here, right? Because we have 20 that is greater than 10 and 20 is again less than 30. Now, there is a truth table in Python for logical operations. So if both the, let me comment it. If we have a true expression and we are using a AND operator, and we have again getting a true expression. So in this case, true and true will give me true in the output. Anything else would give me false. Okay. In case of, this is in case of your AND operation. Now let me change it a bit. So you can see when I'm doing it 40. Okay. Now what is happening here? You see 40 is greater than 10, that is true, and 40 is less than 30, that is false. True and false. So as per our understanding, if both are not true, we are going to get false, right? Exactly. That's what we get. So for AND condition to be true, we need both the expressions to be true. And in any other case, it is going to be false. Now, moving on to the OR operation. I'm going to copy this thing again. We have OR operation. Now, for OR operation, if false or false, if both the expressions are false, then only we are going to get false. Okay, and just to differentiate this, anything else will output true. Okay, now in this case, what are we getting? A is greater than B. This is true, or A is less than C. 40 less than 30 is false. But since one of them is true, we are going to get a true in the input. See, this false is for the first one, and this true is for the second one, or one. Now, just one quick thing to keep in mind is, whenever we have an OR expression and the interpreter gets a true output, it's not going to check the false expression. If it gets the true output, it's going to just print true. It's not going to evaluate the right half of the OR expression. Okay. So this is just a thing to keep in mind while debugging and other stuff. It might be useful. Okay. Similarly, we have NOT operation. NOT is basically the opposite of the what we are getting in the Boolean expression. So for example, let me just leave it as it is. I'm going to comment these two now. So if you see, now if I do like A greater than B, A greater than B, as we already discussed, it's a true. So we are going to get true. But if we use not, So whatever we are getting, it will be the opposite of that one. A greater than B is true, but not of true is false. Okay. So that's basically the use case of not, and it can be used in several different situations. We are going to discuss many such situations in future.